Hello everyone, Spud here, and in today's video I want to talk with you fine folks about Escape from Tarkov. Before that, I just want to say, if you are familiar with my channel, I am starting up making YouTube videos again. I took a long hiatus. I'm back home. I've got my whole setup revamped. I'm working a lot more on my streams and stuff as well, but you can expect more YouTube content, especially over this upcoming game, Rising Storm 2 Vietnam. It actually released today. I'll be getting it later in the evening due to some money things, but expect videos on that game as well as some others. So first off, let's get into Escape from Tarkov. Now, I bought this game back in November of last year, and I was really excited for it. Escape from Tarkov had promised to be this brand new entry into the survival scavenging genre, and it looked really solid. The maps were gorgeous, the visuals were great, it ran really well, it had double rendered scopes, which was awesome. Really, if you want to make me interested in the game, add in double rendered scopes. They look so badass. And essentially, it had everything I was looking for in a survival game, you know, heavy PvP focus, stuff like that, as well as what looks like some sort of faction system, so I was very interested in it. When I purchased it, I knew full on that I was buying into an incomplete game, and that's what I want to say is, I know this game is incomplete, alright? And you should know that too. And this is not by any means a review. This is just how I feel of the game right now in its current state as of the 30th of May 2017. This game is not one I would recommend for anyone to buy currently. Alright? Now you can buy it at the $60 price and wait for the beta, because that'll probably be a very different game than what I'm playing. I'd be fine with that. The building blocks, the core gameplay mechanics, the inventory management, the gunplay, all that stuff is very well done. But it's not quite there yet. I feel like the game is too restricted for what it's trying to do. It's trying to have this sort of scavenging and survival elements within very closed off environments. One of them, the factory, being the size of a Call of Duty map, and it just doesn't really work in my mind. I've played it through a lot, and really the balance between weapons and their pricing, how you get actually find and get weapons and armor and money seems to be very off, and all in all, it just isn't currently at a state where it makes much sense, if that makes any sense. I'll explain more in more detail in a sec here. Let's start off with weapons. So you have to, of course, have some sort of weapons in the game. It's a PvP-based scavenging focus game, and you can either buy them from traders at the home screen, or you can earn them from scav characters that they give you every hour, or from killing players and picking up their guns in raids, players or scavs. But that's currently the only way to get working weapons, and really to get weapons at all. You can't find working weapons naturally in the environment. You can find their frames, or you can find their stocks, but usually if you're not going in there with one of the larger backpacks, you can't even carry those back into your home base, because they can't be put into a weapon slot. So you might find a AK that's missing a hand grip, and you can't put it on your back. No, it has to go in a backpack. And most of the time, I don't go in the backpack. I just go in with, you know, my pockets, my game container, and some pistols, just to try and maximize my gear loot, which means you really can't pick up weapons naturally from the environment. This is a big problem, because that means the only way you can earn weapons is either by killing somebody or by buying them. Let's go down to buying them. You can't earn money reliably in this game, from what I've seen. You can sell weapons you get off, you know, players or scav characters that you kill, but other than that, you can't really do anything to get weapons, because it's so hard to get money. I mean, if you go, so let's say you go into a raid with your only goal of getting money, I would say getting 4,000 rubles is sort of the top end, and maybe $4 or $5 around that as well you can get in one raid. However, to go in there, you'll probably be risking at least a rifle or a shotgun, maybe a pistol if you're feeling brave. So you're usually risking about 20,000 rubles worth of money, and all it takes is one shot to kill you, because armor is nigh impossible to find, and it's incredibly hard to buy if you are bankrupt. One thing I did as a new player, not knowing anything about the game, is I spent a lot of money early on, and that really screwed me over, and I haven't been able to get my money back. I'm still hovering around, you know, 11,000 rubles at most times. The game just doesn't seem to have a good way to have you earn money, especially with traders, and it doesn't have any good way to get weapons. So you end up always, whenever you see a player, even when you're playing a scav and other scavs are your friendlies, I would kill them to get their guns so I could throw them back in my inventory and still have a mildly okay supply of weaponry. This is a problem. I think you need to be able to find and scavenge working weapons from the environment easily. Maybe not easily, maybe have it only be one every 5 raids, but still, it should be an attainable thing. Second off, the maps, I think I was touching before, they're too small to make it work. Even the largest one, the woods map, is only about half a kilometer on one of its sides, so I would say maybe, 2 kilometers, 2 square kilometers wide, and that's just not enough area to work around, in my opinion. I'm used to playing games like DayZ or Arma or stuff like that, where you have very large open environments and you can maneuver and you can avoid players. Really, since there's one way that you spawn in and one side that you have to go to leave, everyone's following the same path. In an environment that small, you are going to run into conflict. This isn't inherently a bad thing, but especially if you're just trying to scavenge and grab some gear quickly, this can be incredibly challenging because you're going to run into players who are there for player hunting. Once again, this isn't entirely a bad thing, and this is mostly a case of mad cause bad, I get that. But I find this to be very risky and very easy to lose high-end gear. My next complaint is that right now, if you disconnect from the server for any reason, say your internet cuts out or the server itself drops, you lose all that gear. Alright, there's no way to get it back, there's no way to do anything. If the server kicks you, if your internet dies, if there's a hitch and you disconnect, any gear you have is gone. It's actually happened to me once where I was actually loading into a match. I was bringing in an AK-74 with a PSO 4x optic. I had full armor and I had a backpack, and I was going in there to try and have some fun killing some players. It was on stream, and on stream I get disconnected from the server before I ever even stepped foot in it. My character was never even spawned in it, and I lost all that gear. That is a problem. That is a serious issue that they need to address. However, I get that that's also a difficult issue because if they make it too lenient, then people will just combat log when they get into a firefight. But if they make it too hard, then you end up losing gear like this. It's a delicate issue, and I don't know how they can fix it, but it is definitely something I should bring up. Next off, armor currently is pretty overpowered, and it's also really hard to obtain it. So players who have managed to get a huge store of armor and of helmets, they're going to have a huge advantage over anyone else. The helmet protects your entire head, not just where it covers, and the armor protects your entire upper torso. So most of the time, if you see a kitted player wearing gear, aim for the legs, because that's the only place where you can do full damage to them. And I don't know, that just feels a little bit odd to me. Maybe it will be a tweak in the future, but I just don't like it that much. All in all, Tarkov has the building blocks of a great, fantastic game, but it is not there yet. There's too many balancing issues with the cost weapons. Like, for example, an M4 costs, I believe, like 70,000 rubles. I might be totally wrong, but it's up there and expensive. And it's really only a mediocre rifle with hard to find mags and hard to find ammo. But when you compare that to an SKS or even an AK, which costs around 20,000 rubles, with easy to find ammo, mags are everywhere. It's like, why would you ever run an M4? They're more expensive, easier to lose, and it really just sort of invalidates the guns. And I get that they were pricing weapons sort of off of their real-life counterparts, but I don't think for a game like this that works. Anyways, guys, this was just my overall impressions of the current state of Escape from Tarkov. If you have played it, what do you think? And if you haven't played it, if you have any questions or want to know any more info, you can say so below and I'll do another video on this game. Once again, I really like this game. I like I like what it could be, but right now it's got some serious balancing issues, and all in all, they need to refine its systems to work better together. Anyways, guys, if you watched, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate that. Stay tuned for more videos in the future. I am coming back to this channel. I'm not done. I know I said that once before, but now I have a lot more time on my hands and I can really do a lot more with this. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one. Bye-bye.